All right, good afternoon, everybody. Jogo here, and welcome to your regional Autocross Championships here in Cebu City. Yep, there we go. This is Mikel Toralba on the track. You are watching the Novice Modified C category. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to your Eneos Regional Underbone Grand Prix. And of course, this is a cat and mouse race. Here we go. On to the finish line right there. 149.05 for Michael Toralba. I think that's it. So, all right. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the racing line, and welcome to your Eneos Regional Autocross Championships. And of course, we would like to thank our friends from Iloilo, friends from Bacolod, friends here in Cebu, and of course, our friends in Cagayan de Oro who came all the way to join us in this race. Yep, Narciso Habeleosa. Good afternoon, sir. Yes, Bacolod leg soon. Yes, we're going to do a Bacolod leg soon right here. Here we go. So, yeah, very excited to do that one right there in Bacolod. So, soon po, we're going to do that one in Bacolod. 2026 na po. Good afternoon, everybody. Here we go. Glenn Gallios and Joel Malones. Glenn Gallios is from Iloilo. Joel Malones from Cebu. As you can see, this is a cat and mouse race. One coming in, going out on the inside. One coming in, going on the outside. Here we go. This is Joseph Malones right here. There we go, Glenn Gallios. There we go, one of the top drivers right here. I think he already won a couple of categories fastest time. So tingnan natin if he'll be able to, be able to. Joseph Malones, Glenn Gallios was able to maintain his winning right here. So this is Glenn Gallios right there from Iloilo City. And of course, this is Joseph Malones now. Here we go. That is the time, 103 for Joseph Malones so far. And of course, there we go. Glenn Gallios right here. On the stretch, there we go. The time right here is, the fastest so far is 137.02. So, medyo mabilis yung yung ginagawa nila dito. There we go. That's Joseph Malones on the part of the inside of the track. Glenn Gallios is catching up. Lumalapit na siya doon. So here we go. Joseph Malones, it's 139.20. Yeah, Grime. That was quick. That was fast. Now, this is Glenn Gallios right here. His turn to be on this part of the track. And of course, the other one is Joseph Malones will be changing on the other lane. Here we go. There we go. Joel, this is Glenn Gallios right here. He is now on this time right here. So now on the other side of the track is Joseph Malones. There we go. On the inside, now he's Joel Malones will be going out now. Glenn Gallios will be coming in. So a little bit of a complication this track, but nevertheless, this track is really high speed right there. Glenn Gallios looking good all the way from Iloilo City. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to your Eneos Regional Autocross Championships right here. in Kartzone, Cebu. Our first time to run autocross racing right here. Fastest time of the day is 136.071. Time to beat. Here we go. That is Glenn Gallius right there. Joseph Malones looking good as well. On board is Honda. Glenn Gallius. Here we go. Joel Malones. Glenn Gallius. There we go. Novice Modified C category right here. Wow. Here we go. Home stretch now for Glenn. Home stretch right here. All right. Glenn Gallius holding the time to beat right here at 136.07. That is the time to beat right here by Glenn Gallius. This guy right here. There we go. That guy right there from Iloilo is the one, is the driver who's going to be the time to beat right here. All right. We are on board Frederick Sala. There we go. Frederick Sala up against Arian Simonio. There we go. Frederick Sala versus Arian Simonio right here. Here we go. Looking good. On board Frederick Sala on how he's maneuvering this car. There is a passenger on track for Frederick Sala. There we go, and how he maneuvers that car right there. So, wow. Here we go. Frederick Sala looking good. We are on board him right now. Frederick Sala. Oh, someone is teaching him what to do inside the track. There we go. Look at that. All right. Now, we are now on to, this is Arian Simonio. While we're going to watch Frederick Sala muna on the other side of your screens. There we go. So, Arian Simonio looking good right here. This is your Novice Modified C category. While we are looking at Frederick Sala on the inside, we are also watching what's happening on the outside for Alan Simonio. There we go. That's Frederick Sala. There we go. Arian Simonio on the other side of the track, while Frederick Sala is navigating that one right there. So, ayun, tingnan natin on how he's going. Grabe ginagawa ni Frederick Sala. Wow. Here we go. Here we go. 155 for Frederick Sala. There we go. So, may nagtuturo sa kanya. Kita niyo naman, may tumuturo sa kanya ngayon. Wow. Yeah. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to your Eneos Regional Autocross Championships And as you can see, someone is teaching Frederick Sala right there. So now on lane number 1 is Arian Simonio. And on the other side of the track is Frederick Sala. Where is Frederick Sala? It's waiting for him. There you go. Waiting for Frederick Sala. All right, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to your Eneos Regional Autocross Championships. We're coming to you live right here in Cebu City. We're coming to you at Kartzone, Cebu. It's our very first time to race here in Kartzone. There we go. So we have a time right here that it's on board or display with Arian Simonio, and we are on board Frederick Sala. There we go. Frederick Sala right there. And how he navigates his car around that double A curve inside the track right there of Kartzone. This is a go-kart track right here in Cebu. You better try it. They have the best go-karts in this part of the country. There we go. This is Arian Simonio while we are on board Frederick Sala. So if you want to see what's going on, Frederick Sala right now, here we go. Oh, that's Frederick Sala right there. On board right here. Yeah, he's having fun right there. Yeah, so far so good. Here we go. So this is Arian Simonio. Time. This is the time of Arian Simonio while we are on board Frederick Sala right here. There we go. Onward Frederick Sala going into that double, not yet the double A, on the stretch. Hinahabol na siya ngayon ni medyo hinahabol na siya ngayon ni sino to? Ni Arian Simonio. There we go. Arian Simonio right there onto the home stretch right here for Arian Simonio. 1:40.58 for Arian Simonio. Frederick Sala, let's see if he'll be able to cross right here. There we go. Frederick Sala finishing the race right there. Wow, nice one. So we're coming to you live right here at Kartzone, Cebu. Right.
Into that mud puddle. Into that mud puddle.
Here we go. Figo Malik and 7 Aleman on the track. First time on the track by Figo Malik right here. He is on the clock. This is the Expert Open A category. Welcome to your Eneos Regional Autocross Championships. Figo Malik on the track right here. 7 Aleman is on the track. There we go. That is Figo Malik right there. Looking good, looking fast right here for Figo Malik. Here we go. This is the first time. Figo Malik, by the way, is our top driver or leading our driver of the year. Wow, look at that. Figo Malik right here. Look at that. Here we go. 47 is his time on halfway mark on the race. Now, let's move on to 7 Aleman. Wow, that is a while ago, I was trying to describe that as a go-kart EG. Whoa, look at that. 7 Aleman looking good. Looking good right there. Now, onward, Figo Malik right here. This is the time of Figo Malik, or not yet. This is the time where the Aleman crossed. Here we go. Home stretch for Figo Malik. Will he be able to beat 137.01 by Glenn Gallios? Here we go. Figo Malik of 132.83. Wow. Wow, Figo Malik, time to beat right here. $132.83. All right, here we go. 7 Aleman. And Figo Malik right here. There we go. Figo Malik on the other side of the track. Let's see if Figo Malik will be able to beat his time once again right here. There we go. This is 7 Aleman. Figo Malik. Now this is the time of 7 Aleman. So Figo Malik is also being timed separately right there. There we go. Figo Malik. Wow, very quick. Figo Malik. Grabe. This is 7 Aleman. Figo Malik is already in this part of the track. So this is indeed a very high-speed track. I think it is somehow medyo ano ni Figo itong ano eh. No, where's Figo right here? There we go. Figo, there we go. Figo now crossing into that part of the track. Now, Aleman looking good right here. He is now going inside the track while Figo Malik is going outside of the track. Here we go. This is that part of the track where you can do a 360. There we go. Nice move by Figo Malik. Here we go. He is now going on to the stretch part of the track right there. And let's go to Aleman right here. 7 Aleman. Wow. Control. Very good control on his car right there. Here we go. That go-kart EG. Wow. Here we go. Now, he's on to his home stretch. Here we go. Figo Malik is about to cross the timeline right there. We have to check his time. 134.08 on that lane 2. Wow. And si Aleman, we have to check on Aleman. That is 134.08 for Aleman. All right, there is a rerun right here for Figo Malik, so there is a time glitch right there. We have to make sure. Here we go. Figo Malik, here we go. 132 is the time to beat for Figo Malik. 132.83. There we go. Figo Malik looking good. He has the time to beat at 132.083. There we go. Look at that. Look at the speed of that car going into that part of the track. Now going into the backstretch, running the opposite side of your Kartzone racetrack. If you're very familiar with the Kartzone racetrack, we are running on the opposite side right now, going back to where? Onto the first corner. Now, Figo Malik is being timed separately by a different timer. So here we go. Look at the maneuver of that car right here. Looking good, looking strong. 132.83 is the time to beat on the clock for Figo Malik. Here we go. This is that part of the track. I think it's a lot of drivers having problems now. 360 turn right there. No problems, no sweat for Figo Malik. Now going into the stretch and onto the series of chicanes. Now hesitation, a little bit of hesitation because whether where you're going to go right or go left, it's up to you. Wherever you want, you're comfortable going into that part of the track. Now, here we go, going in again to the opposite side of the track where he is going to do the finish line right here. We need to know where we don't have any display, but it's in the official. Here we go, home stretch for Figo Malik. .06. That was a 133.064. Wow! Grabe ang ginawa ni Figo here. He got a 132.83 and 134.064. So far, Figo Malik is the fastest right here. So this is averaging right now. So, wow, grabe. Grabe. Here we go. Glenn Gallos and Joel Milones. Glenn is from Iloilo. Joel Milones is from Cebu. Here we go. This is your Eneos Regional Autocross Championships. This is the Expert Open A. So far, the fastest is by Figo Malik at 133.064, 132.83. Here we go. This is the Open A category. So if you're wondering, the car on top will be starting in the middle of the track, going on the inside, heading out. The car on the outside, which is on the car below your screen, is started on the outside, going on the inside. There we go. This is Glenn Gallos right here, looking good. This is the time of Glenn Gallos, while this is Joel Milones. There we go, Joel Milones, the one that is going on the outside. Nice maneuver right there by Glenn Gallos. Here we go, Joel Milones now on the inside. So this is a really very fun track where both drivers will be navigating on the same part of the track. Wow! What happened there? Medyo sumobra siya, but luckily he was in good control of that car. Joel Milones, this is not his second time, but Glenn Gallos is catching up right here. Here we go, Glenn Gallos catching up right here. Joel Milones, let's see, he is having a hard time navigating on that part of the track as Glenn Gallos is now catching up. Here we go. Joel Milones, Glenn Gallos right here. Sorry, that's Joel Malones. Something's wrong right there. Here we go. Joel Malones, and on the other side of the track, that is Glenn Gallios. There we go. Glenn Gallios a while ago was the one holding the fastest at 136.071. Now, Figo Malik at 132.83. Of course, from OK Now, CDO, Cagayan de Oro, Figo Malik looking good. This is Glenn Gallios from Iloilo City. This is your Eneos Regional Autocross Championships right here in Cebu City. There we go, Glenn Gallios. Joel Malones. Glenn Gallios on top right here. This is Joel Malones looking good. Oh, Glenn Gallios doing a good one right there. Tingnan natin si Glenn. Wow, that's what I said. That type of turn is really very good. Here we go. That is Joseph Malones. Now, navigating, going in outside of the track. Palabas na po siya dun sa stretch. That is a very high-speed turn. That is a double A here at your Kartzone racetrack. While Glenn Gallios is closing in on his time right there. Here we go. Glenn Gallios finishing that one. Joseph Malones, 1:37.52. Wow. We are now moving on to the Expert Open B category. All right, this is the Expert Open B category. Dick Deacon and 7 Aleman. Here we go. Wow, we are now in the open category. Look at those cars right here. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to your Regional Autocross Championships. The car on the upper part of your screens are, navigating, going inside the track. Now is going out. And, of course, the one going on here on the track, this is Dick Deacon right here, navigating on that part of the chicane. And, of course, Aleman, this is the time of Aleman. 7 Aleman, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to your Expert Open B category. Oh, look at that. Here we go. Grabe. Here we go. That is 7 Aleman, or that is Dick Deacon right there. Mitsubishi Miata. We are in the Open B category right here. Now, this is that part of the track where they go into the inside. And let's see if you'll be able to make a very good one. Medyo nahihirapan siya. There we go. And we go now to 7 Aleman. Dick Deacon going into that double A on that part of the track. There we go. Wow, now one there by 7 Aleman. That is what I'm trying to say a while ago. There we go. 133.84. Wow. Grabe. The time is really going down right here. So, yeah, grabe. Okay, so we were able to, got a record on the first few runs this morning. So we're gonna show that to you later on while we wait for the other drivers to be, going into their respective times right here. But right now, this is Ebdik Dikan. Oh, this is 7 Aleman right here. And of course, here is Ebdik Dikan on the stretch. Here we go. Ebdik Dikan, a small stretch right there going opposite side of the racetrack, going on to the inside backstretch, the former backstretch, if you're very familiar with the Kartzone racetrack layout. And of course, on the other side of the track, that is 7 Aleman, who I described a while ago is a very light EG. That is a go-kart EG. Anyway, looking good right here. 7 Aleman, this is the Expert Open B category. There we go. There we go. 7 Aleman right here going into the inside part of the track. This is Ebdik Dikan looking good as well. Going on the inside. Wow, grabe yung ginawa ni 7 Aleman kanina ha. Sorry, wasn't able to show you that one right there. But so far, here we go. This is 7 Aleman right here. Here we go. Wow, 7 Aleman. So he got a 140.31 right there for 7 Aleman. Grabe. Okay, we have a rerun right here for Aleman. So that is not the time of Aleman. Here we go, a rerun for Aleman right here. Oh, nice one right there by 7 Aleman. Going into the stretch right here. Here we go. Chicanes and onto part of the track now, going into the backstretch. If you're going to the other side clockwise, this is a counterclockwise right here for your regional autocross championships here in Cebu City. Round number 3 of your Visayas Mindanao Championships. This is our lone Visayas race. So a while ago, people are asking that if we're gonna extend this one, but unfortunately we won't be able to extend this year. But next year, definitely we're going to Bacolod. We already surveyed or oculared the venue for the Bacolod. Thank you so much from our friends from Bacolod Motorsports right there. Thank you so much. Maraming salamat sa inyo for, letting us visit that site that we're gonna do a race on April 2026. That is a date already, so we're gonna announce it soon on our calendar after we're gonna finish round number 4 and the last round of the series happening this November. Time! That is a 133.9747 Aleman. There we go. All right, here we go. Figu Malig once again on the track. All right, Jude Ornopia and Figu Malik on the track right here. Here we go. Figu Malik holds the fastest right here. We have a timer on Figu Malik right there. Here we go. First time on the track for Jude Ornopia. Here we go. Figu Malik looking good. Here we go. Figu Malik scored a perfect win for the round number 1 and round number 2. Wow, look at that. Grabe. Figu Malik. Here we go. So let's see if he'll be able to. Now, we're gonna abort the run of Figu Malik right here because maabutan niya talaga si maabutan niya si Ornopia. So now let's go on to Ornopia right here. So Jude Ornopia having some few problems right here. So tingnan natin. So Figu Malik, we aborted his run. So he's going to do a rerun later on. But so far, for Ornopia right here, here we go. A rerun right here for Figu Malik as Ornopia. So far, so good, but he missed that curve a while ago going into the first corner of the track of the original layout of the track for your Kartzone here. If you're familiar with the track here at Kartzone, so we are running outwards or clockwise. Oh, what happened right there? What's the problem right here? What happened right there? Ipakuha kay All right, so we're gonna do a solo run right here for Figu Malik. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Ornopia and Figo Malig right here. Here we go.
Eneos takes on the evolving challenge of creating new value day after day. We are oil specialists. That's why we aspire to contribute to the leading engine oil development for the future. It is with that goal in mind that Eneos is the proud sponsor of Super GT. Super GT is the most prestigious motorsport in Japan. The demanding race requires participants to keep racing not only for a long period of time, but also while maintaining a high speed. We support these racers taking on this challenge as one team. High-quality engine oil can bring out the maximum performance of race cars.
速く走るためにエンジンオイルにはこだわっています。オイルの性能次第で振動が少なくなって運転しやすくなりますし、結果タイムの短縮にもつながります。エンジンオイル重要です。
High-quality engine oil gives the racers a chance to push themselves to the limit.
エンジンの寿命を伸ばすためには質の高いエンジンオイルで摩擦や摩耗を減らす必要があります。私たちはそういうオイルを選ぶようにしています。
We will confront any obstacle because we believe that we will eventually overcome any challenge if only we keep trying. Now, Eneos has succeeded in developing Eneos X Prime to improve car ride comfort. By minimizing friction, the engine oil can improve the comfort of a car ride. It also improves fuel efficiency and acceleration. This is our premium engine oil, created with Eneos' unique technology. We will continue to create new value through the development of engine oil. In this ever-changing time, we hope to assist all those involved realize their hopes and dreams with our efforts. Japan quality.
All right, welcome back everyone. This is the Novice Stock B category. Here we go. Mikel Torralba on lane number 1. And of course, that's Glenn Gallios from Iloilo on lane number 2. Welcome to your regional Autocross Championships. There we go. Mikel Torralba right there. And of course, we are here at Kartzone right now. There we go. And Glenn Gallios right here. Looking good right now. Here we go. This is your Eneos Regional Autocross Championships. And of course, we are here at Kartzone. So it's our first time to be here at Kartzone to race the original Autocross Championships right there. And of course, here we go. This is Mikel Torralba, and they are timed separately right here. Here we go. Now, home stretch right here for both drivers. Glenn Gallios on top right there. Mikel Torralba looking good now on the home stretch. And Glenn Gallios, that's it. There we go. So it's a 2-lap race here at Kartzone. Glenn Gallios now on the home stretch. Torralba going back to his... look at that. Nice one right there. Here we go. Time now for Mikel Torralba. That's 148.54. Glenn Gallios is timed separately. All right, good afternoon. And welcome to your Eneos Regional Autocross Championships. All right, welcome back. Adrian Simonio and Charles Bojas right here. These two drivers, identical white cars, but of course they're running in a different category. All right, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Cebu City. 2 weeks ago, we were at Of course, the other driver is starting on the inside, the other one starting on the outside. So this is kind of interesting. So a different layout for you right here. So there we go. It's something different. Yep, and of course presented to you by Eneos Motor Oil, Japan's #1 motor oil. Check it out. Here we go. You heard the horn. Good start for both cars, as you can see on the outer lane and the inner lane right there. Adrian Simonio is on the clock, but the other car is being timed differently right there. So here we go. This is Adrian Simonio. There we go, Adrian Simonio. This is Charles Bojas, who started on the inside. There we go. On board another white car. Quite confusing, but though they have different cars. This is a Chevrolet, I think. I'm not quite sure. And here we go. That is Simonio. Now starting on the outer lane right there. Adrian Simonio right there, looking good on the stretch, going into the chicane. Now Charles Bojas, there we go, onto the inside part of the chicane. So of course, these two drivers are timed differently. There we go, as you can see, up and lower part of the track, or lower part of your screens. And of course, we only have one time here for, that's Adrian Simonio on the home stretch right there. Here we go, home stretch right here for Adrian Simonio. Oh, not yet. I think Charles Bojas. Here we go, 145.79 right there for Adrian Simonio. Charles Bojas changing on the lanes right here. Of course, this is a cat and mouse layout of your track right here. And of course, that is one of the trademark of autocross racing, especially here in the region, Visayas, Mindanao. So if you were able to watch last time, we had that drag race type where both cars are on the starting on different two lanes. Then they're gonna navigate through different. Jojo Loren on the track right here. Here we go. This is the Expert Open B category. Wow. Wild car right there. There we go. So far, so good. Sorry about that. There we go. That's Jojo Loren. Solo run. This is the last category to run in the Expert Open B category. Here we go. Loren, this is a fast car. Fastest time is Figo Malik, 131.962. Wow. Yep. Jojo Loren, here we go on the clock. Wow, 1:31:47. Moving on with the Expert Open C category. All right, welcome back, everybody. That is John King. Yeah. Looking good for John King, the guy who introduced autocross racing here in Cebu City. And of course, just to mention, the fastest time to beat right here is by Figo Malig. There we go. That is the fastest time to beat right here by Figo Malig. There we go. Here we go, John King up against Jude Ornopia. This is the Expert Open C category. Here we go. What a car there by John King. John King helped us design this track right here. So, tingnan natin. Oh, nice one right. Made a mistake on that part of the corner. And now, here we go. Parating na po si Jude Ornopia. There we go. Where is John King? John King here. There we go. Navigating on that part of the track. Ornopia right here. There we go. Let's see if John King will be able to make a way. Tingnan natin. There we go. John King. Good one there for John King. Let's see. He'll be able to change the way he ran this one right here. So John King so far so good right here. As Jude Ornopia, ayun. Tingnan natin ang time ni Jude Ornopia right there. 135.07. Now John King right here. Let's see. There we go. The finish run right here. John 140.77 for John King. Wow. Here we go. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to your regional Autocross Championships. So far, the fastest right here is by Figo Malig. That is a 131. Time to beat Jude Ornopia. John King. Here we go. This is the time of John King right here. Let's see if he'll be able to, improve his time right here. Jude Ornopia. We are now on Jude Ornopia on the stretch. Going into the back stretch. There we go. Double A now for John King. He is now on the double A right here. Let's see if he'll be able to improve here. Look at that. Here we go, Jude Ornopia. I think that is going to be a Jude Ornopia. Here we go. On the clock there. John King right here, having troubles on that part of the track. This car is too strong, I think. Yeah, it's already done for John King. Mirror track. All right, here we go. Charles Bojas right here. And of course, there we go. This is Charles Bojas now on the other part of the track. And of course, Adrian Simonio on the inside part of the track. Now, medyo kinda mahirap yung inside part of the track. But of course, here we go on the stretch for Adrian Simonio right here. And Charles Bojas now approaching on the inside part of the track. So, there were times na inabutan talaga ng other car, no? So, yun ang medyo tricky part of this racetrack. There we go. So, Charles Bojas and Adrian Simonio right there. Oh, look at that. Gaya na sinabi ko kanina, pwede silang mag-aabutan. So, it's gonna be tricky part right here. Here we go. This is one round already. There we go. This is Charles Bojas right here, navigating his second lap. Medyo nakakalito lang, no? Baka nalilito kayo because they are using the same cars, same colored car kasi, kaya that's why. All right, there we go. That's Adrian Simonio right there who's on this time right here. Here we go. There we go. Home stretch right now. Adrian Simonio. Oh, problems already for that car. Hindi niya alam anong gagawin niya. Now, home stretch. That's 2:01 for Charles Bohas. There we go. That's the time of Charles Bohas right there. 2:01.96. All right, Figo Malik doing a rerun right here. But so far, the fastest right here is by Figo Malik. There we go. That is the 131.962 right there for Figo Malik. Let's see if he'll be able to beat this one right here. 131.962 for Figo Malik. Here we go. Tingnan natin if he'll be able to beat his own time right here. So that is the fastest, and that is the time to beat right now. Figo Malik from OK Now City O. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to your Eneos Regional Autocross Championships here at Kartzone, Cebu. Figo Malik is on the track right here. Let's see if Figo Malik will be able to beat his own time. So now, oh, look at that. Nice one. Nice maneuver a while ago. I think hindi niya ginawa yan yung sa previous run niya. But right here, tingnan natin. Look at that. Halfway mark is 47. So if you're just going to do a ×2 on that one, maybe he'll be able to beat his own time right here. So fastest time by Figo Malik at 131.962 right there. If you can see that on the lower part of the right part of your screens right here. Here we go. Figo Malik going into the inside of the track. Now navigating onto that part of the corner. That is a AA part of your Kartzone racetrack. So far, so good. This is indeed a very high-speed track layout right here. Courtesy of our good friend, John King. Here we go. Wow, what a nice one right there. Here we go. Finish line right here for Figo Malik. Will he be able to beat his own time? 132.84. So, hindi po niya na-beat yung time niya. Grabe. But look at that. 131.962 is his time to beat. And grabe. Where is he? There we go. Figo Malik is over there. Now, these guys will be having their respective second runs. There we go. Jojo Loren now heading to his part of the track. So where is Figo Malik? Is this a rerun for Figo Malik? I don't know what's going to happen right here. Tingnan natin if he's going to do this one right there. Here we go. Jojo Loren now will be holding this clock right here while Figo Malik will be on the other side of the track going on to the inside. Here we go. Here we go. Figo Malik right now. Jojo Loren. Fastest time, 131.962 by Figo Malik, that guy on the track right there. There we go, Jojo Loren right there. Here we go. That is Jojo Loren on the track right here. Figo Malig, there we go, having problems. So maybe, there we go, Figo Malig right here. Figo Malig on the fastest time. Here we go, Figo Malig right now. Jojo Loren once again. Jojo Loren, here we go. Home stretch for Jojo Loren. Tingnan natin. This is it. Jojo Loren, will he be able to beat the time of Figo Malig? Now, 133.19. Figo Malig. Jojo Loren, 133.19. There we go. Figo Malig clocking in the fastest at 131.962 right here. Okay, it's been a very nice Sunday afternoon right here at Kartzone, Cebu. So far, the fastest time right here for the overall fastest time is 131.962 by Figo Malig right there. If you can see on the lower part of your screens, on the right corner part of your screens. And of course, Glenn Gallios of your Autocross Iloilo is also doing good right here. Here we go. We are on board Kim Villegas right here. There we go. Looking good, Kim Villegas right here. We are on board him right now. So, tingnan natin. Of course, there we go. Kim Villegas and... Oh, that's the other side of the track. There we go. That is Aryan. Oh, problems right there. Kim Villegas looking good. He is this guy right here. There you go. That is Kim Villegas. We are on board a while ago. Kim Villegas. There you go. Tingnan natin on how he's going to maneuver the backstretch of this. This is Aryan Rizari. Kim Villegas right there. On board Kim Villegas, looking good. Medyo, ano ba to? The 360. I think that's a 360. He's having a problem right there. Here we go. I think he's going to be flag out. Yeah, I think he has to do it again. There we go. That's Kim Villegas. Okay, so tignan natin on how they're going to do this right here. So the lower part of the screen is Kim Villegas, and we are on board Kim Villegas, and that white car is Rizano. There we go, and that is Kim Villegas right there. Here we go, Kim Villegas right now. We are on board him right here. Looking good for Kim Villegas. There we go. There we go. That is Aryan, no? And while we are looking at, baka nalilito kayo, that is Rizano, Rizari. There we go. That's Kim Villegas right there. Oh, that's what happened on the inside right there. Oh, medyo umover si Kim Villegas. Novice Stock B category. Oh, pylon went out there. This is Kim Villegas right here. There you go. You're on board Kim Villegas. And of course, Aryan right there. Medyo, tingnan natin to si Rizano Rizari. Looking good. And Kim Villegas on board Kim Villegas right there. There you go. Right, we will be right back.
This is my engine for 2019 Formula Drift season. We are running a 450 cubic inch LS-based V8. This motor is putting out around 1,000 horsepower and 850 foot-pounds of torque. Normally, this motor comes naturally aspirated, but we decided to turbocharge and makes a lot of horsepower, and it's been solid for the last few years. Thank you to my longtime sponsors, Town 14 Distribution, Falcon Tires, and Eneos Oil. See you guys at the track.
Get to that mud puddle.
All right, welcome back. We are on board Riano Rizari, who ran a while ago. So here we go. He's going to be up against Glenn Gallios right here from Iloilo City. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to your Regional Autocross Championships. And of course, this is round number 3 here in Cebu City. Autocross racing is back here in Cebu City. Here we go. This is Novice Stock C category. And of course, this is being presented to you by Eneos Regional Autocross and presented to you by Eneos Motor Oil, Japan's #1 motor oil. And while they are waiting, let's see what's Riano Rizari is doing on the car. So he is, look, it's both Honda Brio right here. So it's been a while that a lot of people are really getting a Brio for autocross racing. So medyo, I think that's one of the advantages. But of course, this is a racetrack. It's a high-speed design, and it's a cat and mouse right here. Here we go. Rizano Rizari. There we go. Looking good. Rizano Rizari is on your lower. Glenn Gallios on your upper part of the screen. There you go. Rizano Rizari. Looking at him right here. Of course, he is the one that has a display timer right there. And of course, Glenn Gallios on the other side of the track, and there you go. Here we go right here. Rizari looking good. See, that's Glenn Gallios already right there. That's Glenn Gallios from Iloilo City. And of course, that's Rizano Rizari right now, Glenn Gallios right here. And let's see, what is Rizano Rizari doing on the other side of the screen right there? Looking, medyo nag-stop siya. Ayun, that's, looking good for both cars right here. So far, Honda Brio, this is one of those cars na medyo gusto ng lahat, no? Hindi ko alam kung bakit gusto ng lahat. it's really that it's really that very agile right there. So Rizano Rizari looking good, and of course going back to Glenn Gallios right here on that part of the track. Yan yung 360. Medyo that is that part. Here we go. Robert Tan, our friend from Manila, running in the Super Sprint. There we go. That is Glenn Gallios, Robert Tan right here. Our friend from Eneos Super Sprint, all the way from Manila. This is the Expert Modified A category. Here we go. This is his second run right now. And of course, he's up against Glenn Gallios. There we go, Robert Tan. Looking good here. He's driving the car of Rex from Ubex Mags. There we go. Navigating on that part of the track. Robert Tan, so far, so good right here. Here we go. Home stretch now for Robert Tan on Achet. One more round. Robert Tan right here, of course, is the organizer in our Super Sprint, Eneos Super Sprint. Glenn Gallios looking good. Glenn Gallios from Iloilo. There we go. Glenn Gallios, 136. Wow. 136.78. Galing. So far, Figo Malig holding the fastest right here. That is 131.962. And Robert Tan, there you go, finishing his run right there. $140.117 for Robert Tan right there, beating his own time at 140.776 on his first outing. Next. Figo Malik right here, solo run in the Expert Modified A category. He holds the fastest at 131.962. There you go. Let's see, Figo Malik, will he be able to beat his own time of, further stapling himself in the 2025 Driver of the Year. It's a jump-packed Sunday afternoon crowd right here at Kartzone, Cebu. Here we go. Figo Malig, 131.962 is the time to beat. Here we go. Navigating that on the backstretch of your Kartzone racetrack, going into on the inside. Now navigating into another hairpin curve, going into the second part of the track right here, where there's another timer running over there. Now he is going to navigate onto the double apex, which of course on the opposite side, or the using on the other side of the track. Here we go now. Figo Malig navigating to this, one of the most, not really difficult, but challenging, and he did that perfectly well. There we go. Figo Malig now on to his lap number 2 with 47.31. That is the time on his half. Improved further, but last time that we checked, when he was on that part of the track. There we go. Figo Malig, top driver in CDO, top driver in Mindanao right now. Of course, the son of Mai Malig, who will be running later on. So Mai, will see Mai later on. Here we go. There we go. Figo Malig will be timed differently right here. Figo Malig right here. Look at that. Now he's on to his second run. Let's see if he'll be able to improve further right here. Tingnan natin. So, Figo Malig from OK Now, CDO. Tell us where you're watching from. We are now here at Kartzone. It's our first time to run an autocross race here at Kartzone, Cebu. Maraming salamat po, Kartzone, our friends from Kartzone, Attorney Jess Garcia, who, made this possible. Of course, Jonas, our good friend Jonas Egling. Thank you so much for making this possible right here. Figo Malig looking good right now. So far, so good for Figo Malig with a 131.962. Here we go. Rerun. Time problem for another rerun here for Figo Malig. Here we go. Figo Malig once again. There we go. Figo Malig, so far so good right here. So it's a rerun. There's a problem with the timer a while ago. So tingnan natin if he'll be able to, beat his own time. All right, Figo Malig, so far so good right here. And tingnan natin if he'll be able to more or less beat his own time. So far, that part of the track is one of those, challenging part, but it's not that really difficult. And look at that, a very nice maneuver by Figo Malig right there. So far, so good right here. So we still need to check on his time when he crossed the start-finish line right here. Figo Malig looking good. Here we go. Time! .132.943. Still not able to beat his own time, but still holding the fastest right there at 131.962. Sila?
Get to that mud puddle.
All right, welcome back everybody. Eb Dikdikan up against Khalil Akilos. We are in the Expert Modified B category right now. Good afternoon, everybody. We're coming to you live right here at Kartzone, Cebu City. Here we go. We are in the Expert Modified B class. Eb Dikdikan, this is the third run, I think. Khalil Akilos, second run, I think. So far, let's say, Expert Modified B category. That is a Subaru Forester, if I'm not mistaken. So we have an SUV on the track. There we go, Khalil Akilos. Now, Eb Dikdikan on the stretch right here. So I've seen that Miata, I think, I'm not quite sure. But anyway, we've seen that a while ago, that run here. So looking good so far. Whoa, look at that. Khalil Akilos, ganda nung ginawa niya kanina. Sorry, wasn't able to show you that. I didn't expect a Subaru SUV will be able to do that. Oh, wait, is that a Subaru? I think that's a Subaru. Anyway, so far so good right here. But Eb Dikdikan looking good right here. There we go. Now, let's move on to Khalil Akilos. Going into or navigating into that one right there. Oh! Lock on the brakes. I think that is brake locking right there. So, hahabulin siya. Maabutan ba siya? Tingnan natin if he'll be able to. Here we go. Palapit na siya, no? Palapit na si Eb Dikdikan on the same part of the track. Oh, there we go. Now, he's about to. Wow. 152.25. Eptic Deacon already finished his run right there. So, wow, that was something else. So, we're going to wait for their next run. Eptic Deacon right now. Here we go. Up against. That is Khalil Kilos. A while ago, I think the brakes locked on that part of the track. So, tingnan natin if he'll be able. Oh, it was a very swift turn a while ago for Kilos. So, tingnan natin if Eptic Deacon, let's see, he's about to catch on Khalil Kilos. So, ayun, Khalil Kilos now navigating on that part of the track. Let's see. Oh, there we go. There we go. Eptic Deacon looking good right there. Now for Eptic Deacon right here. Wow. Commitment on the brakes, commitment on your tires. Khalil Kilos, there we go. $139.15 Wow. All right. All right. So, tingnan natin. Here we go. Rizano Rizari. On board Rizano Rizari. Tingnan niyo yung racetrack. So, I think we're going to show you this one right there. Look what he's looking at. There you go. You can see that one now on the inside part of the track. Here we go. Yeah. Glenn Gallios. Here we go. Rizano Rizari. Now we will be able to see what he's doing right there. There you go. Look at the lower screens right here. Yeah, nice one right there by Rizano Rizari. There we go, Rizano Rizari. That is part of the track where he is going to navigate all of those. Now on the inside right here, Rizano Rizari looking good. Oh, a little bit of an hesitation move right there by Rizano Rizari. But he is all good right here. Yes. Going back to Glenn Gallios. Glenn Gallios is now on this time right here, 132. So far, let's see, 149 si Lizaring. Now, only so home stretch for Glenn Gallios. Will he be able to make this move right here? Here we go. Glenn Gallios, 143.92. A good run there for Glenn Gallios of Iloilo City. All right, on board Kim Villegas right here. I think it's a solo run for him. Here we go, Kim Villegas, solo run for Kim Villegas. Welcome everybody, welcome to your regional Autocross Championships presented to you by Eneos Motor Oil, Japan's #1 motor oil company. Thank you so much, Eneos Philippines. Here we go, this is Kim Villegas on to his first run right here. Solo run. I think the second run of Kim Villegas right there. Here we go. So as you can see, we are roaming around Kartzone right here. So medyo ano talaga, it's a racetrack. There is added safety features since it's a racetrack. It's a go-kart track. This is where we run our regional underbone GP races. There we go. This is Kim Villegas. Now on his home stretch right here. One more round for Kim Villegas. Here we go. Of course, that is the Kartzone stretch. Here we go. That's time for Kim Villegas. Now he's going to change lane right here. Going now to the lane #1. Kim Villegas on lane #1 now. So fortunately, this is the one that we have a timer. Here we go. Kim Villegas of Cebu City. First time I heard his name. Let's see what time will he get on one lap right here. There we go. Kim Villegas. Oh, he hit all the tires right there. Wow. 56.79 for Kim Villegas. Grabe. Tinamaan niya na like bowling pins right there for Kim Villegas. Going into the backstretch right here with a 109 so far. Here we go. 122 mark right here. So let's see if he'll be able to correct his mistake going into that roundabout. Here we go. Ito yung roundabout kanina, yung tinamaan niya, ang daming gulong. So he has to make sure that he can turn the car right there. There we go. Kim Villegas now on the home stretch. Here we go. He got a 152.39. Robert back now. Here we go. Arian Simonio. Fastest time to beat is 131.962 right here by Figo Malig. There we go. So hit number 2 right here for Robert Tan and Arian Simonio. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the races. There we go. There we go. Arian Simonio here. Here we go. Robert Tan. Navigating again on that part of the track. Here we go. From Super Sprints. Welcome to Cebu City. This is Arian Simonio right now. Home stretch for both drivers. Wow. Robert Tan right here. Finishes there. Arian Simonio. 141.12 for Arian Simonio. 141.12 for Arian Simonio. $137 for Robert Tan. There we go. Matthew Mandrial right now on the time. Montreal looking good right here. There you go. Look at that. That's how to do it. Now, 1 lap, 54.75 here for Montreal. One more round, and that's it. His run for the Novice Stock A. Here we go. Let's see if he's gonna do that handbraking technique once again right here. There we go. Matthew Mandrial. Oh, he didn't. Oh, did I jinx that? Matthew Mandrial. Here we go, home stretch for him. That is a huge mistake right there. Here we go, 154.85. We will be right back.
Into that mud puddle. Into that mud puddle.
Here we go. This is Kirk Daniel. Kirk Daniel on the track using the car of Figu Malik right here. Here we go. Fastest time, 1:31.962. Kirk Daniel at 1:40.36. So let's see if he'll be able to improve this one. Oh, that was a very big turn. So I think he blew the run already. So there we go. Kirk Daniel driving the car of Figu Malik. Careful there. So, wow. So since that they're using one car right here, so tingnan natin if we could see the big difference right here. Here we go. One more round around Kartzone. Hindi po madali yung ginagawa nila. Yeah. This is the Expert Modified B category. Here we go. Home stretch right there. Wow. Okay, to give you a recap right here, the fastest driver so far is Figo Malik at 131.962. Of course, one of the fastest is our friend from Iloilo, Glenn Gallos. He also got a couple of categories that under his belt already. So all the way from Iloilo, thank you so much, Iloilo Autocross. So it's confirmed we'll be having a leg next year for your regional autocross championships, brought to you by Eneos Motor Oil. Yeah, so we'll be having a change driver right here. So, and aside from that, good afternoon sa inyong lahat. So tell us where you're watching from. It's a hot and jam-packed Sunday afternoon crowd here at Kartzone. I don't see any comments on the comment section. Pa-shout out Ryan Andoy watching from Cagayan de Oro. Ryan Andoy, good afternoon sa iyo. Shout out sa iyo dyan. While we're waiting for a change driver, I think that's Figo Malik right here. We're just gonna wait for Figo Malik. So, yeah, you might be asking, the track is high speed, except for the stretch. The Kartzone has a 85-90 meter stretch. So, kaya tingnan natin. Go team, okay now. Nonin Lim, we miss you here. So, yun. Sana nandito ka. Kirk Daniel, Figo Malik, and my Malik. There you go. Here we go. This is Figo Malik on the track. Let's see if Figo will be able to beat his own time right here. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Here we go. Solo run on the track. Anticipating on the turn. There we go. Look at the flawlessness of that driving there, going into that corner, which is it's all hairpin right there going into that. Here we go for Figo Malik, looking good. .962 is the time to beat on the clock. Let's see if you're gonna do that handbraking turn there. We'll see. 47 yung time niya noong kanina. Tingnan natin if he'll be able to improve here. 47 pa rin. 47.46. So, yeah. So, ito yung time niya kanina. Okay, that is the kumbaga halfway. If he'll be able to times 2 that one, so he won't be able to beat his own time at 131. But tingnan natin if he can pull something right now on his sleeves. Something like a magic trick that he will be able to beat his own time at 131.962 right here. Here we go. Here we go. 123, 125. Will he be able to beat 131? Let's see. Looks like it's not, but here we go. Figo Malik. Hit number 2. Here we go. Figo Malik looking good. Will he be able to beat his own time? O 131.962. Kanina, 133.8 something, 846. So tingnan natin if he'll be able to improve that one right here. So though this is averaging right here, so let's see if we'll be able to do that averaging, if he'll be able to get that one a little bit closer to this time right here. So, of course, Kartzone racetrack. This is a go-kart track. So, this is also, we held our regional Otterbone Grand Prix. So, Figo Malik looking good. Wow. Oh. Looking good. Now in the stretch. Here we go. 131.962 is the time to beat on Figo Malik time. We have a new time to beat. 131.834. Wow! Sabi na nga ba? 834. 131.834. Grabe. Yun. Figo Malik has a new best time. 131.834. All right, welcome back, everybody. On board, Arthur Kilban up against. There we go. This is Johannes Lu, and of course, we are on board Arthur Kilban right there, who is running on. This is a blue car, right? I'm not quite sure what car he's using right now. We have to check on that one right here. Here we go. Oh, that is a Honda City. Here we go. This is Johannes Lu right here. This is a Mazda Miata. Up against Kilban. There we go. Of course, we are on board Arthur Kilban right here. Looking good so far. Here we go. Here we go. This is Johannes Lu, and we are on board Arthur Kilban. Here we go. So far, so good right here for both drivers. There we go. Arthur Kilban finished the race right here. Oh, I think his black flag did not finish. Johannes Lu will now go to his respective lane right here. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to your Eneos Regional Autocross Championships right here in Kartzone, Cebu. There we go, Arthur Kilban. Oh, he needs to move back since that we are going to do round. I'll get a change laps, change lanes right here. There we go. Where is Arthur Kilban now? There you go. There we go. Arthur Kilban right there. Here we go. Honda City versus a Mazda Miata right here. Here we go. This is this is round number 2. Here we go. Good start right there for Arthur Kilban. Here we go. Johannes Lu. Onboard Arthur Kilban. We'll check on Arthur Kilban right here. Look at the direction Arthur Kilban is going and what he's doing inside the car. We are now around Kartzone. Onboard Arthur Kilban right here. Look at how he maneuvers the car while we are looking at Johannes Lu on the other side right there. Here we go. Oh, look at that. While Arthur Kilban looking good right here. 2 cars running right here. Johannes Lu is about to catch up on Arthur Kilban. Though Arthur Kilban right there. There we go. Johannes Lu. Arthur Kilban right here. There we go. Hitting another cone right there. Here we go. Going to the backstretch of the Kartzone racetrack. Johannes Lu navigating on that tricky part of the track. A while ago, they were using... that's very tight right there for Johannes Lu. Here we go. Home stretch for Johannes Lu right here. As he finishes... Oh, not yet. One more round for both cars. This is Johannes Lu right here. We are on board Arthur Kilban. Looking good. And where he is at right here. Here we go. Oh, look at that and how he maneuvers that car over there. Here we go. Now we are with Johannes Lu on board Arthur Kilban. This is the home stretch right here. Here we go. It's finished already. Now the time is 1:48.01. Nice one right there for Arthur Kilban. There we go. All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Jongoy right here, and welcome to the regional autocross presented to you by Eneos Motor Oil. Here we go. Glenn Gallios up against Riano Rizari. Still in Novice Modified B category. Glenn Gallios from Iloilo. He is really winning right here. He has already a lot of... There we go. He's quite fast. Glenn Gallios looking good from Iloilo. Now I think he's going to catch up on Rizari. Riano Rizari. Grabe si Glenn. Here we go. I think he's going to catch up right here. Wow. Here he goes. Glenn Gallios. Rizari need to go in faster right here. Hinahabol siya. Wow. Glenn Gallios right there looking good. Here we go. Now change lane din for both cars right here. This is Rizari. Where's Glenn? Now, Glenn, there you go. Ang bilis ni Glenn. Grabe. This is from Iloilo. Finish line right there. Hinahabol siya. Grabe. Finish line now for Glenn Gallios. Here we go. Rizari. Let's see. 1:45.56. Wow. All right, Rizari once again changed lane for both cars, and of course Glenn Gallios right here. There we go. This is the time of Rizari. Riano Rizari. Let's see. Oh, this is Glenn Gallios, sorry. Here we go. Glenn Gallios, one of the top, finishing with a 1:37.02 on the time. He's the fastest so far. Glenn Gallios from Iloilo Autocross Group. There we go. Glenn Gallios, quick here. Wow. 25 seconds or 34. Tingnan natin gaano kabilis yung kanyang yung kanyang time right here. That is the time of Glenn Gallios. Here we go. Let's see. Glenn Gallios right now. 49 on half mark. Tingnan natin if he'll be able to further improve right here. 1:37 is the time to beat. That is his time right there. This is Rizari right here. Here we go. This is not the time of Rizari. This is going to be a good match though. Hinahabol na siya ni Glenn dito. Glenn is already approaching right here. There we go. Rizari. Now, Glenn right now, tingnan natin, home stretch right here for Glenn. 1:24 on this part. 1:37 is the time to beat, and that is the time of Glenn. Let's see, 1:37, 1:30, 1:32, 1:31, 1:34. Here we go, 1:37.50. Wow! Ang bilis from Iloilo. Wow, nice one right there. All right. That was a nice one right there. All right. This is Joel Malones up against Friedrich Sala. Here we go. Joel Malones, this is the newest modified B category. Here we go. Malones on top, Freddy Sala on below, Freddy Sala on top. Here we go. This is Frederick Sala. He was the one who, got bumped on those tires a while ago. And of course, Malones right here. Joel Malones on a Honda Fit Looks good for Malones. There we go. Welcome to Kartzone. This is where we usually hold our regional Underbowl Grand Prix. Now, Autocross racing right here in Cebu City. Looking good for Frederick Sala, considering what happened to him a while ago. But no, it was all good for Frederick Sala. Now, this is Malones right here. Looking good so far. I think he's going to catch up on Frederick Sala. Tingnan natin. Ayun, Frederick Sala. Now, home stretch right now for Malones. Here we go. Malones, home stretch right here. There we go. 139. Oh, hindi nag-stop. We have to check on that. Here we go. Malones, Joel Malones, and Frederick Sala on the track. All right. Joel Sala, Joel Malones, and Frederick Sala. There we go. Here we go. Joseph Malones up against Frederick Sala once again. There we go. Frederick Sala right here. Up against Joel Malones. Fastest time is 1:37. So far, this is the time of Frederick Sala. Joseph Malones right there. Oh, look at that maneuver right there. Joel Malones. I think this is second run of the day. Frederick Sala. A 360 turn right there. Here we go. Malones now catching up right here. Frederick Sala. Here we go. And oh, another one. Another one right here for Frederick Sala. Tingnan natin if he'll be able to control this car further. All right, here we go. Here we go for Joseph Malones, 114. There we go. Joseph Malones. Oh, that was Frederick Sala's time. So Joseph Malones is catching up right here. Frederick Sala catching up, or Joseph Malones catching up. Here we go. There we go. That is Joseph Malones. I think they have to abort the run. $153.94 there for Joseph Malones. Or for Frederick Sala, sorry. All right, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to your Eneos Regional Autocross Championships here in Cebu City. Here we go, and we are on board Arian Simonio. We're coming to you live right here at Kartzone, Cebu. Here we go. Let's see and how he's going to maneuver this is right here. Here we go. Arian Simonio. That is the time of Arian Simonio right there. Looking good on the clock right here. And how he maneuvers this one right here. Arian Simonio. You can see how he runs his car right here. Arian Simonio. Navigating the car right there. Oh, nice one for Arian Simonio. How did he do that? Here we go. On the stretch, short stretch right here, going into the chicanes. Nice one. Let's see how he maneuvers this one right here for Arian Simonio. We're in the Novice Modified C. Novice Modified B category. Here we go. Arian Simonio, looking at the time, is 1:16. And how he going to navigate around the double A right here. Here we go. One of the tricky part right here for Arian Simonio. There we go. On to the home stretch right there. Arian Simonio, 141. With one penalty for Arian Simonio. There you go. 141 right there for Arian Simonio. We are coming to you live on board Arian Simonio. This is your Eneos Regional Autocross Championships. Now he's going to be on this part of the lane number 2 right here. It's timed differently right here. Here we go. He's on board his Toyota Vios. Here we go. Arian Simonio looking good. Looking good right here. Look at how he navigates that car right there. Going into that corner, one of the tight corners that they are going right here. Here we go. Arian Simonio on the stretch. Nice maneuver right there for Arian Simonio. There we go. Solo run. This is the last driver for the Novice Modified B category. Let's see how he maneuvers right here, going to the inside his car and how he does this. There we go. Look at that. Arian Simonio. Home stretch for him. He is being timed differently right here. How he maneuvers the car right there. There we go. Nice one. Tingnan natin. Double A right here on the Kartzone racetrack. Now, you got the choice if you're going to go from the inside or you're going to go from the outside right there. Finished right there. All right. We will be right back. Here we go. Kirk Daniel up against Arthur Kibilan. Here we go. This is the novice modified C category. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the racing line, and welcome to your Eneos Regional Autocross Championships right here. Kartzone, Cebu. Look at that, Arthur Kibilan. Nice maneuver right there by Arthur Kibilan. There we go. This is Kirk Daniel looking good. Arthur Kibilan right there on board his Honda City. Oh, nice maneuver there by Kirk Daniel. Here we go. Now on the chicanes, that is Kirk Daniel right there. On board his Honda. Oh, Brio. Oh, wow. Wild driving right there by Kirk Kibilan. Or that is, Kirk Daniel. Sorry, binaliktad ko yung kanilang pangalan. But nevertheless, still talking to the same driver right here. Here we go. This is Arthur Kibilan on the chicanes. As Kirk Daniel now navigating onto that part of the track on the inside. You seldom see this part of the track that's being used right there. Here we go. Coming right up is Arthur Kibilan. There we go. Arthur Kibilan right there. Looking good, looking strong. Here we go. 140.68 by Kirk Daniel. So, but the fastest time is 1:37.02. Here we go. Arthur Kibilan and Kirk Daniel right there. This is the novice modified C category. A good one for both drivers. Very agile Honda Brio. Now, this is one of those go-to autocross cars. here in the Visayas, Mindanao. But I guess this is not only here. A lot of people are getting this one to compete for autocross racing. There we go. Kirk Daniel right now on the stretch. Wow, nice maneuver right there. This is Arthur Kibilan with his Honda City looking good as well. Oh, he's going to catch up Arthur Kibilan right here. But so far, oh, this is not a Honda City. This is a Honda Civic. Kirk Daniel right now. Arthur Kibilan is on the stretch. Here we go. Wow, look at the maneuver right there of Kirk Daniel. That's a finish line by Kirk Daniel. 114, I think it's not yet 114 for Kirk Daniel. Look at how he maneuvered that car around the corners. This is Arthur Kibilan right here. I thought it was a city. Sorry about that. But so far, so good for both cars. Catching up right here is Kirk Daniel. There you go. Kita mo? Ang lapit na lang nila. Now, Arthur. There you go. 145 for Arthur Kibilan. 145.88 right there for Arthur Kibilan. All right, so that's it for us. Figo Malig wins this one right here at 131.834. That's the fastest time by Figo Malig. So congratulations, Figo Malig. And thank you so much for joining us right here. Maraming salamat everybody for making this possible right here at Kartzone, Cebu. And it's been a hot Sunday afternoon and it's a jump-pack Sunday afternoon crowd here in Cebu City. Maraming salamat. So it's very good. It's very nice to come back here in Cebu. So maraming salamat po. Thank you so much for those who made it possible. Thank you so much for those who, made this one here in Cebu. Especially to those yung mga nagbiyahe po papuntang all the way from Iloilo, all the way from Cagayan de Oro. Thank you so much for joining us right here. And thank you so much for participating in our race. So maraming salamat po sa lahat. And aside from that, we also would like to thank our partner, Eneos Philippines. Thank you so much, Eneos Motor Oil Philippines. Maraming salamat. And of course, you're looking at the 5W30 right here. So 5W30 is already available in the market now. So maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. Thank you so much, Jong Uy right here, and we'll see you on the next one. We're gonna be having November 8 and 9. So thank you so much for joining, and God bless everybody. Thank you so much. Have a safe one, and have a safe drive home. Thank you.